Hey y'all, welcome to our Monday Night Live call. I'm super excited that you're all on here tonight. I know there's a lot of other things you could be doing, and so I really appreciate you getting on. And it just means that you're serious about growing your business and learning all the things you can learn to be better. So well done. Congratulations to you. And tonight we're going to talk about duplication. What does that mean? What does it look like? Why is it necessary for you, for your team? And it's a really, really important thing that you need to get good at, and that's going to really help grow your team. So to start off, I wanted to look up duplication and just see what the dictionary had to say about it. And it has two different definitions, and the first one is the act or process of making an exact copy of something, and then the second is the act or process of doing the same thing another person has done. And those are exactly what we're after in this business, because we are working to be our best team member, right? We want to attract that rock star that's going to jump in and run with the business, and they're just going to do all the things and be the best. And that's exactly what we want to be ourselves. And so for us to attract those people and for us to grow those people on our teams, we have to be that person. And then we have to duplicate that in our team so that they can be that person as well. So growing a successful team in a lucrative business, a lucrative income, requires duplication. This means that you're adding customers and business builders who are in turn adding customers and business builders. And all of this starts with you. It starts with you at the very top of your team. Your team is not going to do what you're not doing. So duplication at the very core begins with you as your team leader. The only part of this business that we have control over is our own activity. And some of us are control freaks. Some of us have control issues. And so this is a hard thing to really wrap our heads around. It's a hard thing to just to handle sometimes, that we don't have control over what anybody else is doing. So let me just let you in on that secret. You don't have control over what anybody else is doing. So just let it go. But you do have control over what you do, and that's all, nothing else. So you want to make sure that you are doing your best all the time. Maybe sometimes you get frustrated and you're just thinking, my business isn't growing as fast as I thought it would. My team's not doing the things that I want them to be doing. Why are they not doing this? And so when this happens, our initial response or reaction most of the time is to play the blame game and just say, well, my team's not joining people. My team's not adding people. Nobody on my team is getting on the calls, or nobody's getting on the book studies. And when that happens, don't play the blame game. Don't put this on your team, but turn around or get in front of the mirror and ask yourself this question. If everyone on my team did exactly what I am currently doing every day, every week, every month, what would my business look like? And that's a hard question to answer honestly sometimes, because I know personally I don't always quite hit the standard that I want to hit, because I want to be the best all the time, and I want to know that I am going above and beyond every single day. And that doesn't always happen, but I have to be sure that I'm looking at myself and my activity and not placing that blame on my team when my business isn't growing as fast as I want it to. Because remember, the only thing that we have control over is our activity. So when things aren't going quite the way you want them to go, don't play that blame game, but instead ask yourself that hard question and answer it honestly. Like, really dig deep. Write out your activity throughout the day, throughout the week, and see what it is that you're doing and what's it going to look like if your team's doing those exact same activities. So what should you be doing to start the duplication process? There are 6 things that you should be doing all the time, constantly. Those are always adding to your list. Your list is a living thing. It needs to be growing all the time because you should always be reaching out to new people. Following up, reaching back out to all those people that you have contacted initially. Inviting people to get in 3-way chats and 3-way calls. And if they're interested in the business, add them to your team. If you're talking with them, they're not interested in the business, that's okay. Add them as a customer. And then also ask those people for referrals, because not everybody's going to be interested in what you have to offer, and that's okay. But they have friends, and those friends probably will be interested in what you have to offer. So don't be scared to ask for referrals. And then the next thing is my personal favorite, and that's getting paid. You should always be getting paid. And if you're doing those first 4 things, you're going to be getting paid. And then the next one is having fun. That is something that we should be doing. We have a lot of fun on our team. We really do. It is work, and we want people to know that this is work, and it's not just a, lottery ticket party all the time. But for the amount of work that we do put in, we have a whole lot of fun to go with that. So if you're doing these things consistently, you're going to teach your team to do the same, because they're going to duplicate your behavior. And with the having fun thing, put that out there and show people that you're having fun, because you've heard that your vibe attracts your tribe, and that is exactly true. People are attracted to fun. They're attracted to energy. And if you're putting that out there, that's going to draw people in. That is attraction marketing at its finest. And then you're also going to have people who join you simply because it's something different in their life. It's going to be an adventure outlet, or maybe they just want to be part of something bigger, or they just want to feel like they're part of a community. Maybe they're a stay-at-home mama and they don't have much adult interaction, period. But when they do, maybe it's not super fun. So they may just join you because they see those things that can fill a void in their life. So be sure that you're always putting that out there. This next thing I'm going to talk about is another thing that can kind of just punch you in the gut, but it's called the half rule. And basically what this means is your people, your team is going to do on average half of what you do. These people that do half of what you do are the ones that you're going to consider your runners, okay? And so this can be a great thing. I mean, if you are messaging, 30 new people a day, you're following up with 25, 30 people a day, you're watching all the training videos, and you have people on your team who are doing half of that, that's a pretty good thing. But if you're doing the bare minimum every day, for right now, we're doing the 5-3-1 IPA. So we're doing 5 new contacts, 3 follow-ups, and 1 training video. If that's what you're doing every single day, that's the bare minimum, right? So just think, if you're doing that and everybody on your team is doing half of what you're doing, how fast do you think your team's going to be growing? And is that speed going to be okay with you? If it is, then that's okay. You just keep rocking on. But if it's not and you want to grow faster, just know that you're going to have to increase your activity so that they're going to match half of what you're doing. And it's just, I don't know how to say it. If you're okay with just doing the bare minimum and getting your team to do half of the bare minimum, just quite honestly, you're not going to go very fast, very far. You're not going to go far or fast, because you're probably just not going to be adding people enough to cover the ones that are dropping off, because we do have ones that are dropping off. You know, that's just the way the business goes. But if you are going above and beyond, if you're talking to many people and following up with many people, and your team is doing half of that, you are going to see that growth in your team, because you're going to be adding people quicker than they're falling off. So just figure that out for yourself, what your activity looks like and what half of, you know, that is going to look like for your team, and see if you're okay with that. And if you are, keep rocking. Like I said, if you're not, figure out what you need to do to change that. To build big, you must commit to being the top producer on your team. And then you need to commit to besting yourself every single month. You want to be your own rock star. You may not have a rock star on your team yet, and that's okay. You need to be your own rock star. And even when you do sign up that rock star that may come your way, keep being that rock star, because the people under you they're gonna want to strive to be where you are. They're gonna want to match your activity. So be your own rock star. You cannot expect people on your team to do what you're not willing to do. So I've been talking a lot about activity, about IPA and reaching out and following up. But that's not the only place that this applies, and I want to make sure that this is really, really clear. IPA those are the things that are going to earn you money in this business, right? Reaching out, talking to new people, following up with people. Those are the things that are going to earn you money. But that's not the only place that this half rule applies. It applies to all of your activity. So it applies to recruiting. It applies to getting your people in three-way chats and on three-way calls. It applies to being on team calls. It applies to taking part in our book studies, getting on power hours. All of these things are what you're going to have to do to grow your business like you want. And you just cannot expect your people to do it if you're not willing to do it. So if you're getting upset because your team is not showing up and doing these things, take a look at yourself again and see, am I doing the things that I'm expecting them to do? Because if I'm not, then I have no business even asking them to do it, right? So we set the pace for our team. And you've heard it before, the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack, and that is so true. That's why you hear it all the time. So set the pace for your team and see who keeps up. The ones who keep up are the ones who are going to deserve your time. There's only so many minutes in a day, and there's only so much of us to go around, and I know that we want to help all the people, and it's a good thing to help everybody on your team, but where you really want to spend the bulk of your time is with those people who are matching your activity, those people who are doing the things that you're asking them to do. They're doing the chats, they're doing the calls, they're being on the team calls, they're doing the book studies, all of those things. That's who you want to spend the majority of your time with. Not to say you want to leave all those others, you know, just leave them in the dust, forget about them, because that is not what we want to do ever. But we just cannot spend the majority of our time there, because we want to help those whose feet match their mouths. And when you're doing this, if you're doing all the things and nothing seems to happen, your team's not duplicating, they're just not doing the things, but you are doing the things and you're showing them what to do, then it's really time to just have a conversation with them, get on the phone and get real and ask them some maybe, you know, hard questions and just see what their responses are. And there's a great example of this conversation in the Get Over Yourself book that we read not long ago. And so basically you can just get on the phone with them and say something like, hey, Susie, I remember you told me that when you started, you really wanted to be able to replace your teaching income because you wanted to stay home with your children instead of spending your days with other people's children. And you know that this is a great opportunity you've got here and that we can make that happen for you, but it's not going to happen without some work. So I want to talk with you about why you're not doing the things that it takes to make this happen. Is it because you're having a hard time fitting in your schedule? Are you not sure what to say to people? Are you not sure it's a right fit for you? Be honest with me and just let me know what is going on, because I want to help you. That's sometimes a hard conversation to have with people, but if you can get on the phone with somebody and talk and ask those questions and see where they're at. People most of the time will open up if they know you care. And so let them know that you are so happy that they joined your team. You really do believe they can do it. But why are they not doing it? You know, because you do want to help them. You want to help them reach their goals. You want them to get everything they can out of this opportunity. But you can't do that if they're not communicating back with you. So just get on the phone with them, have that conversation, and see where it goes. You're going to have people who are not willing to do the daily work necessary, and that's okay. Not everybody's going to. If it was easy, everybody would do it. This business is not easy. You know, it's a simple process that we have. We talk to people, we follow up, we join, we train. You know, it just kind of goes over and over and over. So the process is simple, but it's not always easy. There's a lot of ups and downs with it. And so it's okay if people don't want to put in the work, or if they're just not willing to. But here's the thing. As long as you've started them strong, you've given them the tools they need, you've plugged them in, you've had this conversation, you know, finding out why are they doing it to start with, or finding out why are they not doing it even though they wanted to. If you've done all of those things, then the rest is really up to them. And sometimes we have people like that, and when they join, they're excited and they want to do all the things, you know, they want to go silver in a week, and then they want to be gold, and they never talk to a single person, you know, and then we get frustrated and we put that on ourselves, like, well, what am I not doing? Or what did I say that was wrong? Or what should I have done that I didn't do? But here's the thing, if that same person joined and they went fast start gold, and then in 4 months later they were emerald, you wouldn't take credit for all of that. You would say, look what they did. That was so amazing. You're not going to take credit for all their success. So don't put the blame on yourself when they don't take it and run, okay? It's not up to you to move their feet, as long as you start them strong, you give them the tools, you equip them, all of those things. As long as you do your part, the rest is up to them to move their feet. Now, that being said, I do always go back, you know, and keep following up. I have people that have been on my team for 3 years now, and I always still, you know, check in when we have an incentive like this month. You know, this is a great time for you. Are you ready to do this? And they may go, they may not. But I've done my part, and that's all I can do. So don't put that on yourself when you have people who do not take this and run with it and be what you know they can be. Just keep pouring belief into them, and that's really all you can do. We can teach people, we can coach people, we can inspire people, we can collaborate and dream and have fun, but we cannot motivate people. We cannot move their feet for them. We cannot do those daily action steps that they have to do to be successful with this business. So we owe it to our team, though, to work closely with them, teach them the skills and a system so that they can duplicate. And we have that on our team. We have a great onboarding system that we've laid out for y'all, and it's super simple. It's very easy to follow. And so as long as you're teaching people these things, teaching them what to do, as long as they show up and match your efforts, we can help them start strong. And that's all you can really do, is give people the tools, equip them, and help them start strong. That's what you can do. Now, what they do with it is up to them. So after you teach them these basic things, the best ways that I know to teach people are with three-way chats and three-way calls with their prospects. And that is because more is caught than taught. When they see you handling objections, asking questions to find out what people's health goals are so that you can, tell them what products they need, all of these kind of things. When they see you doing this and having these conversations, they're going to learn how to do it, and they're going to duplicate that down with their team. That's also a great form of the I do, we do, you do, because you can kind of handle that conversation for a little bit and then let them handle, come in and start answering more of the questions and taking over the conversation. And you're there to support them and help them. And then they're able to do it on their own. So lots of good things happening with the three-way chats and three-way calls there. Then you can strategize with them as they start building their team. Help them reach their goals. If they want to be silver this month and they want to earn that double bonus, what is that going to look like in terms of how many people do they need to talk to? How many, what do we do to follow up? All of those kind of things. Strategize with them and show them what it's going to take to make their goals a reality. But the thing is, no matter if you do all of this stuff, they must commit to consistent daily IPA. You have to do that to grow your business. If they're not willing to do that, if they're not willing to put in the daily work, then there's nothing you can do about it. You cannot move people's feet. Just keep that in your mind. If you want a successful and exponentially growing business, and that's what most of us want, we don't want to just be adding to our team. We want to be multiplying, because that's what's going to grow you fast and big. We want to multiply our team. So again, we're going to come back to those 6 things that you have to do if you want to be successful and exponentially growing your business. Always be adding to your list. Always be reaching out to people. Use three-way calls and chats. Invite people to events. Those are huge. Always be pulling people through your funnel. That's your follow-up. Pull them through that funnel and get them to that place where you can close that conversation and they can make that decision to join your team as a customer or a business builder, either one, whichever one is good for them. That's what you need to do, but pull them through that funnel and close that conversation. And then always be enrolling business builders. If you want your team to grow, you must add business builders. You're not going to get to be a jewel if you do not have business builders on your team. It's just not going to happen. And then the next thing is getting paid. As long as you're doing those first 5 things there, you're going to get paid, bottom line. And that's, I know, what we all like to do is get paid. So keep doing those things over and over. You're going to keep growing. And then as you do, you're going to share that success and experience with your team, and that's going to show them how to do the same. It's going to inspire them to do the same, and they're going to duplicate that down with their team. And so if you're doing all that and you're having fun, all you need to do from there is wash, rinse, repeat. Keep doing those same things over and over. That's all it takes. That is duplication. You're going to find people who are self-motivated. They're willing to get out of their comfort zones and do the things that it takes to grow their business. And as they do that, they're going to find people who are willing to do the same things. And that is how you duplicate. It's not as hard as it sounds. Just be willing to do the things and to go above and beyond, because remember, your team's going to match half of what you do. So as long as you're willing to do the things and pour into them, start them off strong, give them the tools they need, equip them to be successful, and have conversations with them. Work closely with them to get them off to a strong start. As long as you're willing to do those things, you're going to see your team grow. You're going to see that duplication happening, not just on your first level, but then on your second level and your third level and your fourth level. And that's when it really becomes exciting, is when you get to see all of this work that you've been doing trickle down into your team below you as you see them grow and them reaching their goals. So that's it. That's how you duplicate. It all starts with you. So I hope y'all have had a good night, and I will talk to you soon.